Hello, 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 Speed Gaming. We're coming at you again with another Prime Rando race today. This is, I think, the third one today. It's been a lot. We got awp82 versus Torvisbog today. Torvis is the newcomer to the tournament. They were not present in the week one race due to the tournament structure. He got a week off. But seems to be a relatively new player as well. But yeah, we're coming at you with week 2 settings today. This whole week we've been having I believe it's the even weekly preset.
Yep, yeah. Even weekly preset. What that means for those who are not familiar with our usual shenanigans is that this means that the elevators, they, instead of taking to the places you think they would go if you played the vanilla game, instead they go to random locations, because in Randomizer we can't get enough of that good old-fashioned randomness.
Indeed. And it makes for quite the more interesting seed, if I do say so myself. So, if you haven't checked out any of the other races today, I highly recommend going back and seeing those, because, oh boy, the elevators alone make it quite interesting.
What could possibly go wrong? Many things. Many things is the answer.
Yeah, but it's not just elevators. We also have a random start. We will start literally anywhere in Talon 4 except the Impact Crater.
And
actually, I don't even know.
Or beyond.
The Prologue Frigate, definitely not. But
well, I guess that technically isn't on Talon 4, so I suppose you're still technically right.
Fair enough. So we will also be getting a certain amount of starting items. I do not know the range, but
I believe it's usually 3 maximum. 1 to 3 is the usual, although sometimes it's 0 to 3.
Sure.
This basically this starting items basically just serve to increase the spread of areas where the game can realistically start, because if you have nothing, there's not many items you can really grab to get yourself going, but starting items allows Randovania to start you off with some crazier locations. Who knows, we might see a lower mine start, and yes, that is possible.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a much tamer start than we've been seeing today, or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a really funny start today.
I don't know, man, Schwartz. As an aficionado of the curse, I'm in it for the long haul here. You should see what I'm gonna be up to with Diceron on Sunday.
Yes. Check out RoboScout versus Diceron happening on Sunday. They have some crazy RAs. There's no PB expansions. There's instead 2 mains, and they shuffled scan and charge, which is
what could possibly go wrong?
Just great. Yeah, that's going to be a race, the race of all time.
Funny thing is, it's probably not even the worst settings I've done casually. Anyway, on to this race.
Yep, we should be starting up in a little bit at the moment. The race time says they're off.
Yep.
Should be catching up soon. So yeah, as for this race in particular, I don't believe there are any RAs. Nope. So we will be starting with Charge Beam. We will also, by default, have IS banned because no racer decided to RA it. We'll just set that first, just so I inevitably forget later in the race that that's not allowed.
Alright.
Okay.
Looks like a root cave start.
Root cave start with missiles.
Yeah.
Boring start.
Yeah, that is effectively going to end up playing very similar to vanilla starting location and landing site, especially since they did start with missiles.
Okay,
and we also had, various transport tunnel A. Where's that train? Is that another one? I think it's transport tunnel A.
That's transit tunnel B.
Ah, my bad.
Okay. There's the workstation elevator, so.
Yep. As a consequence of that, given that unlike our first complication of random elevators right here, normally our racers would be able to head straight to Magor right here if they wanted to, given they had missiles in Varia, but because that's a workstation, that's a problem. Can't do that.
Yeah, we need a wave beam. I believe if that was the save station, I didn't check which one it was.
Yeah, I think it was the save station.
Yeah, so in that case, we would need wave to even begin doing Magmore checks.
Yep.
Perfect. Oh, what's debris? Okay, then they need ice beam, and then power bombs, and then wave.
Yeah. So, now you can just immediately... and there's an elevator to Lava Lake, so if our runners want to go to Magmore right away, that is an option they can go to. However, they do not have traditional access to Cho so early on. So, our runners are going to be routing a lot more on the fly compared to the usual non-randomized elevators race. It's a lot harder to stick to just a default pattern in random elevators, and that is X-ray visor in Alcove.
X-ray visor. Interesting.
Doesn't really grant them too many additional checks, but can give them some indication as to where they might want to go logically. That could maybe give some indication that top of Root Cave have something. Especially if our runners find space jumping grapple beam soon.
Yeah, logically, we need space jump and grapple to get to Root Cave, and the only thing that could really have that is Artifact Temple or.
Ooh, and that is bombs under the ship.
Bombs, that's good. I do not believe bomb jumping up Root Cave is in logic. That would be...
yeah. That I do not believe so. So far, AWP seems to be taking the time to check all the elevators and items, even if they can't get them right now, whereas Torvis seems to be gunning it purely for checks right now. AWP took the time to take a look at the canyon elevator as well as that item under the ship, while Torvis seemed to be going more straightforward.
Alright. Yeah, this seems to be Torvisbog's first race, or not race, first tournament that they have participated in. So the skill level of this player is currently unbeknownst to us. But,
and while that has happened, we did find our boots in the Artifact Temple.
Okay, that's good. So that probably means that, like, grapple is... Like, maybe that's Lava Lake. Okay.
Yeah, I'd definitely be heading over to Root Cave right now if I was playing. And let's see, will either of the runners be nice to us and read hints?
You know, what it could be is that Morph could be Root Cave.
It's certainly a possibility.
Lava Lake grapple into Morph Root Cave. That'd be interesting. Interesting. You literally cannot bomb jump up Root Cave. But could you, Sam, could you UVJ up Root Cave? That's the question. Okay, interesting. Guess literally impossible. Nice synchro save there.
Yeah, Prime gets real crazy when you go into advanced level stuff. Like, chances are, like, a good stuff of things that we say are requirements have an asterisk attached to them, especially if we're talking about very high level stuff.
Yes.
Given
Don't
just
talk
how
to Sam about morph ball bombs. And what they do.
Yeah. Given that this is a race where our runners are under a time limit and also these tricks are out of logic anyway, you don't tend to see a lot of the really high level stuff. Like, you're not likely to see much out of bounds outside of a quick trip to grab Arbor Chamber, or maybe Main Plaza Tree since that's recently got discovered. But it is stuff that is technically possible.
Yeah, we more than likely won't see any real big tricks in general. More often than not, if players aren't well versed in it, the trick usually ends up taking more time than it does to stay in logic.
And even if you are well versed, they can often... A lot of the high level tricks tend to just be overly specific for what you're looking for and aren't generally worth it.
Of course, there are always exceptions. check out Jeff v. Interslice. He will never stop plugging that race. That is the best race of the tournament so far.
That was quite something.
Lava Lake is...
And that is grapple aim. So it seems like your theory on, or at least our theory on Root Cave having something might be holding some weight. Up seems to be almost just immediately turned around and is just heading straight up Root Cave.
Yeah, this is a good idea.
Yep.
I guess perhaps Torvis is not confident in the Root Cave dash. That can definitely be quite the challenging dash.
Yeah, that's definitely always something that gives new players some trouble when they're first learning it. Oh, what is that?
Is that plasma beam into Arbor Chamber for a morph? Wow.
Well, I guess there goes our odds at seeing out of bounds today.
Yep. Nice.
Yep.
Free plasma beam, you guys. That's great.
Getting plasma early on is always nice because plasma doesn't lock nearly as much of the game as the other two beams are, so it can be in many more locations. So finding it early on is always very nice. And unlike something like Phazon, there isn't a hint towards it.
Yeah, I'd say Wave or Ice Beam Go mode is like infinitely better than...
Also, Op not grabbing the bombs despite just grabbing Morph Ball.
No, he forgot.
That is unfortunate.
At least it's just Lava Lake, so it's not the worst. He remembers. There we go.
Yep, see, you can see those raid shots.
Don't worry, it happens to the best of us.
Yep.
And you know, we could also check the crash site while we're here. That is also in logic with that, given that grapple.
Yep, that is definitely what I would be doing if I were here.
Ash out those beetles. And Torvis does not miss those bombs, thankfully.
I think I saw Torvis check them a bit earlier after grabbing hints.
Yeah, so I think they did.
Yeah. Either way, it's not that hard to eliminate, to deduce that you need to go to landing site via process of elimination.
Okay. So right now, both of our racers are pretty evenly tied.
Holding hands, as I like to say, as they just head through the same rooms.
They are indeed. What if we held hands in Frigate Crash Site? Oh, I'm missing the grapple.
That's an artifact in Frigate Crash Site.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yep. Looks like Op is trying to do a slope jump in order to gain enough height to get up, while Torvis is just using the grapple points.
No one has checked hints yet, Jeff. Wow. Synchronicity right there.
Yep.
They get it at the exact same time. So it seems that both of our runners are late game hint readers.
That's an interesting approach to say. I know, at least personally, granted, I tend to be someone who almost always reads hints immediately, but especially in random elevators, I find that reading hints can be very helpful, as that can give you some insight on where to go and routing in the early game, when routing in random elevators can be a lot more dynamic than it is in other things, in regular seeds. But
yeah.
I don't know, runners disagree with me on that, so
yeah,
we'll see how it plays out for them.
Yeah, we've had this argument several times. I know one of our more outspoken persons on reading hints early, Baja Blood, is a big advocate for that. But there are, of course, advantages to putting them off until you actually need them.
Yep.
Yeah, shoutouts Baja. Who I will be racing in 2 days. Yippee. Or no, tomorrow actually. I am for boring.
for not reading hints early, from what I understand, the arguments tend to be, in early game, you tend to just be grabbing all the checks you can anyway. And also, if you find any artifacts in the early game, well, that's also just one less hint you need to read.
Yeah,
So
but at the end
somewhat
of the day, what are you like missing? You're missing like 2 seconds writing down a hint or something, or I guess up to like I don't know, 10 seconds if you're like writing them down on paper or something. You know, that is also true for some people. It's harder to read hints, whether it be bad at reading or just really hard to see sometimes. Sometimes the choice of HUD color really influences how easy it is to read the artifacts.
Yeah, I suppose we are somewhat speedrunners. 2 seconds is... It's not something you like, even if I could probably count on one hand the number of tournament races I have been seen that have been counted by time increments in the seconds.
I also want to shout out the fact that Op just zipped right past that artifact.
That is a mood. I have not done that many times before.
I guess that is a fair enough reasoning. I guess my main thing for reading hints early is that if there's any big locations, I know I can put them off. Specifically bosses.
Alternatively, I personally find if there's any locations I would want to know so I don't like skip that when routing and go back later. Like if I read, if one of the hints says artifact on Zoid, I would really like to know that so I don't get tempted to skip Zoid and then have to route back into Chozo later. It's an active subject of debate. I am sure there are many different ways you could interpret this.
Yeah, it usually just ends with us talking in circles, but...
there is a reason it is an active subject of debate. No one has convinced the other side yet. And I keep banging my head against the wall and no one's agreeing with me, so, I don't know.
Tale of Two Cities right here.
Yep.
Alright.
So far, this race has ended up being just extremely close. Our runners are very often in the same rooms at the same time, giving a very good demonstration for those curious just how much of a difference rolling can make in your movement speed when compared to walking. Another artifact, warrior shrine, right?
Artifact. That's still not strength. That is, in fact, warrior, which you find on fighting Philip in Elite Research. We had another Trench Vanilla artifact there.
Yeah,
last race.
You can tell it's not the vanilla artifact of strength because artifact of strength is actually the smallest artifact, which I always found ironic.
Yeah, that is true. There are...
And that is the same case for in Fiery Shores.
But yeah, that is the same deal with like Control Tower having the artifact of Elder and not in Elder Chamber, which is just interesting. And like Life Grove not having Life Giver, and Tower Chamber not having Sun. It's like, why? Come on, just please rearrange them. Oh, that's right, Sun Chamber, yeah, that would make more sense. I guess... Was there any, like, water-based artifact names? I can't remember all. World, maybe?
World could fit for a tower. I don't know.
Chozo Ice Temple, Chozo, yeah.
On the other hand, it does kind of make sense that Chozo artifact is in Chozo Ruins. This is a topic we could debate all day.
Because retro. Okay, I think Unfortunately, I think I missed something. I think I've
Oh
heard
wow,
that we
never
found
mind.
wave beam.
Chozo's in Life Grove. Never mind. Yeah, that's an oof.
Okay, ice beam in Upper Fiery Shores. That's right. Wave beam go mode. That's interesting.
Yeah,
That
that is
must-
true. Wave Beam is going to be our last beam, which is interesting since it does block off the most of the game compared to the other beams.
So and wave beam was in shore tunnel. Okay.
Oh, it was? I did not see that. That is...
Shoutouts to trackers who are actually paying attention to where the items are.
Yeah, we're just getting distracted.
And okay, maybe these are in tree chambers.
Alright, this is looking like it has the makings of a very jet seed so far.
Now is
that
the time I
artifact-
would read hits.
Yeah, especially that artifact with the Phazon suit hit once you collect all the artifacts. I would be immediately reading hints right now because that is just going to determine. And unfortunately, it looks like Torvis is not going to be grabbing their power bombs immediately, which is probably going to end up costing them valuable time unless they can find an expansion here. Because, well, logic expects you to grab the expansion in order, or expects you to grab the main item in order to start using power bombs. The game is coded in such a way that you can use them with only an expansion.
And Shorelines is another artifact. Makes me think that like some regions were like deleted or something. Although that is seemingly a lot more rare since this preset has two-way between areas specifically, so that means that elevators will
It
not
looks
go
like we
to
can
another
see
region.
all 2 remaining artifacts. Phendrana
Fen
Canyon.
Canyon, and the other one is
Chozo Light.
Okay.
Artifacts are free today.
Now, here's an interesting thing. Artifacts are so early, it makes you kind of want to stay around to look for that Phazon suit. Do you play for the hint?
I would 100% play for the hit in this situation. With so little of the game being explored right now, Phazon's, and you have access to so many checks, Phazon suit could be anywhere. I would 100, especially when all of the artifacts are so free early on, I would 100% just rush to grab all the artifacts right now, warp to start, go fight Ridley, and then just start full clearing the area where Phazon suit is. Might not be the fastest fight with Ridley since we don't have boost ball, but it's probably still faster than just spending a lot of time grabbing other checks. That is
maybe.
super missiles and ice ruins.
Supers, okay. We do only have like 10.
What is Spider Ball also? What is this seed? Someone
Spider.
strapped a jet engine to it.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I feel like I have seen a spider in Ice Ruins East before for something important. But that must have been like a multi like forever ago. Baby seed, indeed.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Torvisbog, they have not found the opportunity to found a power bomb to grab their wave beam, because that is really the thing that is going to crack this seed in half. The only thing really left that theoretically locks checks on are boost ball and gravity suit, and yeah, since the only thing we're still looking for is Phazon suit, we can't really have anything in Phazon mining tunnel, so unless something is locked behind boost wall, which pretty much the only hard requirements for that at this point are Life Grove or gravity suit, which I know there are many runners who can skip every gravity suit check. I don't know if Op and Torvis are in that situation, but theoretically something in Frigate could be an obstacle.
I'm fairly confident to say that Op knows how to skip all gravity checks. I do not know about Torvis though. And that's another French vanilla artifact. That one normally has sun, which makes no sense. But yeah, I guess this was the seed to not check your hints, because you get them all in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
late game hint readers rejoice, I guess.
Yeah, I think Torvis has all artifacts at this point, which is just absolutely insane. 21 minutes into the seed, and with all beams potentially on the table too.
So the real kicker here is just phase-on suit location. It can be anywhere, but given these artifacts, it's probably kind of early. But who knows? Maybe we can get a sick progression chain into like literally every other major we don't have yet.
Oh, it looks like Torvis has not grabbed the Ice Temple artifact yet. Oh, looks like they might be heading to grab that, though.
Yeah, they both grabbed different artifacts.
Yeah.
This is going to happen upon Spider. And it's going to check the Spider track and find supers.
Yeah. Our runners have super missiles, but haven't found... has only found one expansion to use them with, and Torvis still has none. This is going to be a very interesting Ridley. Oh, are we going to see the Ridley bug? Because the Ridley cutscene can bug out when you don't have enough suits. I really hope we see the Ridley bug.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Isn't that only fusion suit though?
No, that happens with regular suit.
Yeah, so basically...
I'm reading their hints!
So basically, if you don't know, if you don't have...
I can hear Op's laughter right here.
Yep. Just checking it, it's literally right next to him.
Checking the one hint remaining.
So, for people who don't know, I don't quite remember. I think it's Varia only. If you defeat Ridley while having Varia's suit on, the cutscene that plays will like mess up the model for some reason. Varia or just no suits. Okay, yeah. I do not know the technicalities behind it, but
I imagine just something relating to something in the cutscene trying to grab something that doesn't exist, and or just some aspect of the model that doesn't match up, and that's why it bugs it. That's just kind of the thing that happens when you swap out models without any consideration. Like, I know, people do moveset swap mods in Smash games, and you get similar effects when you have characters who look very different that swap movesets for each other.
Yeah. It's also a fun fact. That's the same case. It happens again in Life Grove, getting the artifact, or not the artifact, the X-ray visor. That cutscene of you acquiring the X-ray, the same kind of shenanigans happen. I believe that one only needs fusion suit for that to happen. Yeah, fusion power suit, Life Grove, X-ray. That cutscene messes up the model in the same way, but since this is rando, that cutscene gets removed, so we will not see that today. Okay, both players now have all the artifacts, and they seem... Torvis seems to check out Chapel to at least find phase-on suit.
Torvis still does not have Wave Beam, so that is going to be a significant impediment to their routing through this seed.
But did Torvis at least see Wave Beam? It was in Short Tunnel, so...
Yeah, I imagine they saw where Wave Beam was. However, they don't have the power bombs to get at it, so they will probably have to go back and grab that at some point later when they pull just the Life Grove area and find main power bombs, or find an expansion somewhere. And it looks like even without the Wave Beam, they are taking the warp to start, and we are going to see the fastest Ridley in the West.
No, sadly we have not found a Torvisbog elevator Baja.
I really enjoy the aspect that the phase-on suit hit and impact crater rings. It creates some interesting routing questions.
Yeah,
Unless you're in a situation where one of the artifacts is in phase on mining tunnel, then you just laugh crying. One of the two. Probably both at the same time.
honestly, in this situation, I don't really know what I would do. I think I would put it off a little bit. I would have at least cleared front fen as well, like the other racers chose to. I might peek around like other elevators to see, just get at least some missiles, man. 10 missiles, Ridley. That's...
Yeah, Ridley... Missiles are very helpful in this game, and I think it'll be fine, but this is gonna be a slow Ridley fight. Well, slow in terms of total time, not slow in terms of time to completion. We might be setting a record here on that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Phazon could be anywhere, but it is also likely that it is not far away. It's just Rando being Rando.
Yeah, and all this, and we still have not seen Chozo at all in this seed. Chozo is the area with the most elevators in the game. It has vanished without a trace.
Yeah, I mean, what would that even take for that to happen? I mean, we've seen Magmor, Talon, and Phendrana, so I don't think with between areas we can actually have it to be Chozo.
Yeah, no. The only areas that I think that are really common to see deleted are Phendrana and Mines, because they have only 2 elevators each.
I believe...
And especially if you have them lead into each other, you can just get in situations where neither of them are accessible.
You could also very rarely have Magmor or Chozo deleted, since those have even amounts of elevators as well. But that also would require either... you just have to think about it. It would have, between areas specifically, you would have to have like a very rare RNG for your elevator coordinations before that to actually ever happen.
On the other hand, it's also very rare that you're fighting Ridley before 30 minutes passes, yet here we are.
This is true. It seemed like Op made fly-by-script, but at this point...
I don't think our runners have, because
I don't think it really matters, because we don't have boost. Okay, it seems that Torvis is going to peek around a little bit more to find at least some better materials for it.
Or sort of some power bombs to grab that wave beam.
Oh, that's right. They haven't seen ATVs yet.
Yes.
Where was the elevator to Upper Great Tree Hall? I didn't see that.
It was one of the Magmor elevators. It was either, I think it was Twin Fires?
Okay. So
Torvis finding their second missile expansion.
Okay, that might be the linchpin here. Because, yeah.
Oh, looks like Torvis is still searching for inventory before going to fight Ridley.
Inquiry. Don't take that. That's not unlogical. Dude, no!
I don't think Torvis can even go there. As wonderfully found out during CGC, you need Wave Beam to head into main quarry.
Yep. Take the elevator ride of shame. And I definitely didn't forget about it either.
I've learned this lesson very well after a certain CGC race.
And there we go. Okay, so at this point, what did they... I don't think I saw what Talon Canyon was. Which one did that lead to?
Talon Canyon, I believe that was Workstation Rubble.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll check that very early in the seed.
Oh yeah, that's right. It goes to Lava Lake. I'm stupid.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
So RuneGame that went to Workstation Rubble.
Okay, so then... Yeah, I'm just trying... I didn't really pay attention to elevator configuration when I should have. Okay, well, Op is finally making it into the second phase and is immediately greeted with a dash, which is what we don't want to see. 2 dashes. Yippee.
Yeah, and 10 missiles means that
3.
Off does not have much inventory to make this phase faster.
Yes. We do have supers, so we could get 2 super shots, which is pretty much only feasible for the last few hits. So, and it's weird trying to see mouth shots with plasma. Usually runners do it with power beam because they have to miss the spam afterwards. But I don't know.
Spam without missiles. Yeah, this Ridley is being really rude.
There we go. What was that? That's like 5 dashes? More, I think.
There's a reason Ridley's AI had to get revised after the original release as a Metroid Prime.
Yeah, so instead of doing dashes all the time, he does ground stomps all the time, which is pretty cool. Man, what a Ridley, man. Dude, what is this? That's like the 3rd 3-dash chain. Fine. Hand invincibility glitch. Yay. There, okay, switch to power.
Oh, finally using their whopping 10 missiles.
And hit it with the super, and bam!
Hey, Ridley Bog!
There it is! Let's go! Watch in all, folks.
This is our protagonist.
This is the first occurrence in the tournament.
I really like the bug suit.
The best suit. It gives infinite damage reduction, by the way.
Yes. It provides immunity to being too serious. And let's see, where is Phazon's suit in our quest for the fastest seed to the tournament?
Okay. And it is in
Chozo Ruins! The one area we have not seen.
Interesting. So at that point, what elevators have we not seen yet? We haven't seen workstation say, no, that was Great Retreat Chamber, or
we haven't seen the workstation save station. We haven't seen the other side of mines, which Torvis showed us where that could be.
DPC,
in general, Chozo just has a ton of elevators right now, and I think Op can grab pretty much everything in there. The only thing I think Op can't grab with their current inventory is... I think that's Training Chamber, that's the one after Lava Lake. So that requires Boost Ball, but I think pretty much everything else Op can grab. Or at least grab somebody with basic tricks.
Logically also can't get Tower Chamber either. Although, no, this is 5.8, they changed that, I think.
Yeah, I think Tower Chamber is... That's an extremely easy slope jump, so I think
Can I get a confirm on that, if you still need... It's still intermediate? Wow.
Even with Space Jump? Really? Huh.
I thought they were fixing that in 5.8. It's fine.
I imagine Op will not particularly care either way, and will be grabbing that item anyway if it is Phazon 2.
Very true. Okay, so yeah, Op hasn't seen Frigate Crash Site yet.
Yes.
Do you take main quarry in the hopes that PPC leads to Chozo? That's...
I mean, I'm pretty sure via process elimination it has to, because Chozo has so many elevators that we haven't seen.
That is true. I mean, at this point, our only elevators left. We got workstation save. We got quarantine cave.
Looks like I'll stick in the
Main
know on that. So.
PPC. We can't get to. Well, we can't logically cross frigate yet. So
yeah, I don't know.
Great tree chambers out of.
Because we need to find a new elevator here, and honestly, just blitzing through mines to the other elevator, that's not that slow. So, personally, I would take that elevator, but I don't know, maybe I'll thinks there's another elevator he can find faster.
Yep, this is the inner slice part of even weekly settings. Just routing the best you can.
And yeah, never let us forget, our runners have only 3 energy tanks and 15 missiles.
Yeah. So, okay, so 3 E-tanks is feasible for final bosses for most like experienced players, but yeah, the 15 missiles is kind of stretching it.
I have to imagine that our runners will be at a better state of inventory for when we get to final bosses, because unless Phazon Suit is just found immediately in Chozo, our runners will be stacking up on inventory pretty quickly. But for just heading through mines, that could be slightly dangerous, because mines, it has some pretty tricky enemies. While runners are generally pretty good at getting through them, with how little inventory our runners have right now, that is something that not everyone might want to take.
Okay. Yeah, check save. Yeah, I say save is also the best elevator to check in this case as well.
Oh yeah, especially considering we can go through the debris. That is pretty fast.
Yeah, this is pretty nice routing. I mean, there's literally like what, a 4 in 6 chance that it's Chozo at this point.
I think it might. I think it's pretty much guaranteed, because like,
I mean,
especially considering elevators can't route between areas. There's not many elevators left that can't be Chozo. Like, I don't think there even are any.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
like, I don't think there are any. There are like more non-Chozo elevators that we've seen that we haven't seen yet.
No, check save station. No, check it. Interesting.
Alp really loves going in and out of Magmore.
This is an interesting see. I want to know what the runners were thinking routing wise.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting interview.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Torvis is taking the modernization elevator, so they will find power bombs.
Yes.
And we'll get Wave, and then fight Ridley, and then find out that they need to find Chozo.
Alp just heading back into Magmore.
Okay.
Alp, I think, is just an elevator enthusiast at this point.
You love that cutscene.
So to be fair, I imagine Alp's just taking the time to think about routing this seed and comprehend the elevator map, because it's hard enough for us to think about when we have nothing to do here but sit and pontificate with high egos on the seed. But when you're actually trying to route the seed and move fast, that's harder.
Okay. Workstation save. Where do you go?
Reflecting
Pool. There it is.
And Torvis finding their power bombs right as that happening too. So
yeah, not quite right on schedule. A little bit behind, but
just right at the same time. Both of our runners getting big discovery. So at this point, I do have to think Op does have the significant advantage in this race. Unless, like, Phazon Suit is somewhere stupid in Chozo Ruins and Torvis grabs that earlier.
I mean, at this point, it's... Nope.
Okay, a little sneak peek at the desktop UI Torvis is running.
Revealed Mac user, wow. That makes 2 Mac users in the tournament so far.
The Torvis, everyone just grabbing missile expansions left and right. Although, to be fair, I imagine the Pirates and Frickin' Crash that will not matter too much at this point.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't really see this turning around. Maybe if Op makes a bad call on Chozo and Torvis somehow makes it to Chozo in a relatively quick manner, and
Could see a death. That is a possibility with so few E-tanks.
I mean, yeah. Where was our last save?
Maybe one of the ships?
I think did Op save after getting his phase on?
I don't think so. I think he just warped to start immediately. I don't know. If a death happens, it would be absolutely devastating with how jet this seed is and how, like, especially now that Torvis has their power bombs and can grab wave beam. That would definitely change the seed, but again, who knows? There's a lot of speculations and hypotheticals. Currently, Op definitely has a significant lead. And Op's apparently saved after meta Ridley, so yes, they would not be losing that much time, apparently. Op not even grabbing the lost Metroid.
Rest in peace, Metroid. I'll rot forever there. Shut up, Sam. And there's wave beam. A little bit of a hiccup on that, but no worse for wear.
Yep.
Elder Chamber. Nothing. But we will see runners pick up these missiles because we need them.
Yeah, normally you don't see runners picking up every missile they can find when they're just looking for phasons, when they're in just phazon suit mode at this point, but this siege is an exception. I mean, like, I could see them not grabbing it if super missiles hadn't been in an extremely convenient location, because after Ridley, there's not much you're gonna do with missiles, without any beam combos, because, I mean, Prime is mostly immune to just regular missiles, because you need beams, and Essence is entirely immune to everything that's not phazon beam. It's pretty much just shattering Metroids, and you only need, like, 10 or so missiles for that, but given that we did find that early super missiles, Op looked like he was trying to go for that, do the parkour to grab that missile, but just couldn't grab the terrain and just decided to move along.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the like last good thing that we could also find is probably we don't really need boost at this point. We've already beaten Ridley, at least Op has. But I guess we could also find an ice spreader that would shave off some time.
Thermal could also save some time in essence. With how minimal our runners, with how fast our runners, there's still a few items that could help out in final bosses, but I don't foresee anything essential coming up except the phazon suit.
Well, we know where thermal is anyway. We know it's in Tower of Light, because it's always in Tower of Light. There's always something like a visor in Tower of Light. But yeah, the worst, I guess,
currently heading into Fendrana and not grabbing hints. Or grabbing phazon suit.
It's following the wave beam and not getting.
Yeah, that unfortunately seems to be the logic from what I'm guessing.
Earlier, I would say that I would have stuck around to at least search for phazon suit before fighting Ridley, but at this point, given like that, you would have had to. Oh, there's Ice Spreader.
Yeah, there's Ice Spreader. And Op can put out a full 2 Ice Spreaders on a full missile tank, so that'll be extremely useful. Well, I have to imagine Op will hopefully be finding more missile tanks. Or they may not, and we might be heading into Exo with 25 missiles.
I mean, I guess how many beam combos if you had infinite missiles, would you usually fire at EXO? Like,
I mean, if I had missiles,
quite a few actually. Yeah.
I mean, if I had infinite missiles, I would be firing all of them, including flamethrower on power beam phase.
It is true. Have we seen that in this tournament yet? Has anyone flamethrowered power phase? I haven't seen all the races, so maybe.
Yeah, I have not been watching races religiously. I don't think I've seen any so far. Just power bomb expansion on Zoid, which is rather. This might be a first time our runners would have rather seen a missile expansion when searching for phase on suit.
Yeah,
for those who do not know, there are a few very weird vulnerabilities in this game, and one of them is that the power beam phases of the Metroid Prime exoskeleton can actually be damaged by flamethrower for some reason. And it's, amusingly enough, it is the one actual in a situation where flamethrower is your only beam combo, it is actually optimal to be using flamethrower in the power beam phase of Exo, which is the only use flamethrower really has in this game, because flamethrower is not that good.
I believe that is logical in an extreme case where you shuffled power beam and you had enough missiles to last it through the fight.
That is true. That is a logical option if you are in the absolute most cursed seed possible. If you are in, please send me that permalink.
I mean, Sam has genned a seed where you start on Essence with Ice Beam, no charge, no like 1E.
Rest in peace, your A button.
Yep, we could definitely see that. Yeah, not the worst idea for a plan though. If you could somehow make infinite missiles feasible in Prime 1, then I would definitely say that that's worth.
I mean, if it's a plan though, your challenge is to manage your missiles. Ran out of missiles? Sounds like a skill issue to me.
Yeah, you would be surprised at how fast 255 missiles can run out.
Time to get.
I mean, you have to use all of them on Flagra. Pretty sure.
That is true. It is optimal to finish Flogger with Wavebuster, because that's another one. Flogger can be damaged normally with Wavebuster. You can just skip the whole bombing the bridges thing and just damage it normally. This one's
that is
more
also logical, I believe, in the extreme case.
Yeah, I believe it's the only ways that can be logically relevant is if you have a one-way elevator that gets you into Sun Chamber, or if you start there in random starting locations. Remember, we had a very amusing seed during the last tournament where you were required to kill Flagra with power bombs that way.
Oh yeah, wasn't that like they started in Sun Tower or something?
Yep, they started in Sun Tower.
And one.
Well, they started like in the room after it, but.
I remember this one seed, like I think it was. I don't remember if it was a weekly or a tournament, but they started on Sun Tower, and it was like above like the Spider Shack, and bombs were on Flagra. So they logically had to just turn around and immediately do Flagra. And they RA to not have warp to start on. So one of the one of the racers had to start a new save file to get bombs. That was terrible. My condolences. I actually, to be honest, I don't know who won that race either. I think it ended up actually becoming really close. Because I think that was Inner Slice, actually. Inner Slice and Sasquatch? I don't
remember the Sasquatch v Inner Slice race last year. That was a surprise victory for Sasquatch.
Yeah, that's right.
What a seed.
Okay, still no sign of Phazonsu yet. Love this.
Yep, although, just with progressive elimination, it's gonna show up here soon.
I want to bet it's on Hive Totem.
Phazonsu, it could be in this very room. It could be you. It could be me. It could even be... And then just various Phazonsu acquisition noises.
This is a Phazonsu. Dear God, there's
more.
No. Oh, nice ghosts. We love doing all the elders and then we're in Shrine after.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess ghosts would be the worst check in Chozo to have Phazon.
Yep.
Especially considering we're coming from Reflecting Pool and we're pretty much like full clearing at this point.
Well, I'd say Training Chamber would probably be worse since that required Boost Ball, but I believe I run this across that list.
That's true. We have not seen Boost. At this point, I would be willing to bet it's like Mines.
Yeah, Boost is... At this point, we are unlikely to see Boost unless it is just pick it up all along the way. Because with Training Chamber eliminated, there's pretty much no chance it's logically required anymore.
Yeah. At this point, I think I'm willing to bet that Tower of Light has Thermal Visor. It always has, like, not actual real progression, but something that, like, is helpful for final bosses. If you never check here, it's usually, like, you're missing Visor or a suit. Dang, missile.
I mean, to be fair, in this seed...
We kinda need that.
Yeah, you're not you're still not wrong.
Dude, this is almost an hour seed, and we are just missing Phazon. Crazy.
And we're running out of Phazon locations. Fortunately, Up seems to, or at least fortunately for Up, they seem to have built up quite a comfy missile pool during their trip through Chozo. So I imagine they will still have plenty to deliver beam combos onto Exo's face.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're kind of good on missiles now, honestly.
Yeah. Torvis has seemed to have made their way into Chozo, so they will be on the hunt for the Phazon suit. However, at this point, I have to imagine with how much ground Op has covered in the Surge, Op is still pretty clearly in the lead.
I mean, it could all turn around if Torvis, like, immediately checks not this elevator. Or this could go to Main Plaza, actually. And then you do Hive Totem immediately, that gets you caught up.
I don't believe we have between areas elevators enabled, so it can't
Yep, that's
be
right. Never mind. Okay, well that's PPC anyways, so...
Yeah, and there is our
Gallery Tunnel. What a spot for that. That's just insult to injury at this point. I just noticed in the race time, Op just said, "This is embarrassing." Don't blame yourself, Op. Blame this seed. Giving all the progression and just putting Phazon in a screw all spot. That's just great. But yeah, with that pretty much sets Op in the lead. It's...
Yeah, this is pretty much Op's race to lose at this point. Unless we see a death on Exo, Torvis does not have much time to go through Chozo, and I just...
Yeah, Torvis is just starting Chozo, so you gotta go, like, the whole Chozo. And that was Gallery Tunnel. That's, like, the very end coming from this way.
Yep.
We're probably gonna be in full clear mode anyways.
unless they just happen to skip a lot of checks and happen to just luck into gallery tunnel, I can't really see them taking it very efficiently.
I doubt it. They're doing Hall of the Elders, and if you're doing Hall of the Elders on first pass, you're kind of just fixing to full clear Chozo.
Yeah.
That is true. Torvis didn't even do Ridley, so...
Yeah, that is the thing. They don't even know Phazonsu is in here and they need to full clear the area.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have knowledge on it. Oh, it's even worse, honestly. Nice entrance mix-up, putting you in the save station.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, since the save station and elevator are in the same room, the game, at least in Rando, it's arguing basically what entrance in the room it's supposed to put you at. Because, like, you know when you start in, like, a save station, like in, like, random start, it'll, like, play the save startup cutscene?
Yeah.
It's the same kind of deal with elevators, I believe. The, like, technical term is, like, just called, like, entrances for rooms. It's since they're in the same one, it likes to mess with you.
Interesting. The more you know.
Yeah, I believe the vanilla game. The vanilla game obviously doesn't do that, but Rando patches it in a way that it kind of messes up.
Yeah, I can see that. It's not like something that's entirely essential.
Alright, EXO, let's go. Alright, there's their first super on EXO, folks. And there's the second. Gonna take all of these missiles we gathered and put them in use.
Yep. And fortunately, Up was able to just grab both of the very good beam combos, so those missiles will be doing a lot of damage.
And yeah, we do have Ice Spreader, so that is a valid option for EXO.
And as you can see, Ice Flare just skips an entire phase on its own. It can be extremely powerful.
And then get the turnaround shot. Nice.
Ring 1 Ice Flare, get
Wave
to...
phase? Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Fortunately, Up also has Super Missile, so we can also get most of the wave phase done with the Super.
How much does a Super do on a phase? Is it like, it's like, okay. It's like just one wave charge. Okay.
Yeah, just one charge afterwards.
But yeah, Wave Buster and Flamethrower are both MIA. They're probably also in mines.
Yeah, unfortunately that means our runners are invalid, but that is just something they will have to live with.
You know what, it could be really funny is that what Flamethrower was like on Hive Totem or something and Op just saved one out of it.
That would be really funny.
It's like that one image of the guy who's like mining for diamonds or something and he turns around right before he finds it. Nice Ice Spreader. Okay. Show us the wave phase. No! Dang.
But to be honest, if wave phase isn't necessarily the worst one, because it's not necessarily the worst thing that wave phase was last time, because you can't really get that good turnaround shots on wave, and having wave be last in a phase is probably good, because you can't get good. You could basically skip entire phases on the turnaround with ice and power. You can't really do that for wave.
So because that,
Yep. For those who do not know, the final phase of the Metroid Prime Exoskeleton Sub-Chamber 4, it can just kind of do whatever it wants. It doesn't really follow a pattern. It can charge whenever it wants. It can shift beam colors whenever it wants. It can even just speed up its own animations whenever it wants, which can get to some very silly animations.
Yeah, you can see it right here. That was a really fast laser. And it can also just stay and wait.
It can also, like, switch a beam comp like that, just whenever you have something charged up. Nope, I'm changing my mind.
Okay. Well, thankfully, Torvis did end up finding that ice spreader in check sword. At least, I think so. I didn't check.
I have to imagine they did.
Bad Sub-Chamber 4, so many wayfarers.
Yep.
Little speedrunning tip if you're fighting Exo. What you can do is, during Sub-Chamber 4, a way to make it quote-unquote bearable is that if you start with a phase that does a lot of damage, what you can do is that you can R-jump to Exo to make him like not immediately change his beam phase. I had heard that if you just put him into the melee cycle, it'll prevent him from changing phases. I'm not entirely confident that you can do it forever, but it at least helps second.
As you can see, Exo's property of speeding up its own animations applies even to the cutscene it's in, which is very amusing as Exo yeets itself into the wall.
I did not notice that. Wow. That's funny. Essence time. No thermal visor. That's not a good place. Yeah, I don't think Essence can even do a blue skip on the first phase.
It can happen. It just depends on where you are in the room. If you stand near the backside, it generally won't happen. If you see it, this is why runners will actually just stand completely still during the first phase of Essence, as that tends to make it so Essence's AI is generally predictable, and it won't. You can guarantee it won't do a full skip.
Yep, that's a full skip right there. That was very cool. I don't. Yeah, usually you don't see pool cancels where he's like moving in and out of the phase on pool. You don't usually see that on the first pool. It's usually on the last pool that runs wait for that. But yes, no thermal visor. We can't see the final boss until it does another pool.
Yep.
Now we're in combat.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's what. Yes. That is one of the minor quirks that makes Essence more bearable with advanced knowledge of the game, because Essence is just a really dull fight, in my opinion, in the base game without any knowledge. You spend so much of it just waiting around, and none of the attacks are really particularly engaging to avoid.
This is true. It's just an excuse to make your visors work the same way that you beam for that also.
Yeah.
But the recoil animation is funny.
It very much is.
Those are tactics.
Yes.
Okay, position looks good. Nice. Now this should be the last. Although we don't have thermal, so.
Yep. off trying to go for some attack cancels while it's invisible, which this is definitely going to be risky considering you can't see the animation to base the timing off of, but let's see how it goes.
You can definitely get a timing for it, but seeing it visually is a big help.
Yep.
Usually, what I personally do to get good attack cancels.
Looks like Torvis reset at some point.
Oh. Probably to fight with. They don't know that Phazon is in Chozo, that they were actually on the right track.
Yeah.
Quite unfortunate.
Well, even then, would you not just warp to start? I don't know. It will likely not matter too much anyway.
That's GG's. Race time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, 23 seconds. There's Torvis on
And it looks like we are joined by our victor, awp82. How are you feeling about your victory?
Well, it was an embarrassing start, but the jetness made up for it. That was a total surprise. I mean, even the Phazon hit was like, what do you call it? Lucky, for lack of a better word. The only hard part was probably finding Chozo, but once I did, it was just a matter of time.
Yeah, although at this point, I do believe that every other elevator that we could have seen led to Chozo, so you technically could have picked anyone, but
yeah,
Workstation was definitely the fastest. But
which other ones led there?
PPC went to somewhere. I believe the other
I don't think
reflecting pool.
I think just by process of elimination, there were only like 4 non-Chozo elevators left in the game, and because elevators can't go between areas with these settings, they pretty much all needed to head to Chozo.
Yeah, like I could have went through Fendrana or Mines, but I was like, nah, that's too much. Might as well just find one that goes directly there, and Workstation was probably the closest one.
So, how about that buggy Samus model in the Ridley cutscene?
Yeah, I was tempted to make a T-1000 reference, but I figured I was too old to, or people were too young to get it, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, we love seeing that cutscene happen. I believe that is a first for this tournament so far.
Oh, is it?
At least to my knowledge. There's at least, Gravity's been deceptively early in a lot of seats as of late. So yeah, the current predicament that Torvis is in is that they did not, they were late to main PBs, so they did not get wave immediately and opted to explore around a bit more before fighting Ridley, so they still don't have their Phazon suit in.
I don't think they even ever fought Ridley at this point. They just...
No, they didn't.
How many are... Oh, they have all 6 artifacts?
Yeah.
Do they know about the Phazon yet?
I don't think so. They just happened to head to Chozo Ruins at the time and are currently clearing it, which was the correct move in retrospect, but they did spend just a lot of time, or a significant amount of time in Venturana first.
There's no way I was getting thermal. Central Dynamo.
Nice. Yeah, where was Boost?
Oh, Hive Totem, I could have got that.
Yeah. A Boost was Hive Totem?
No way. I mean, I didn't need it anymore at that point, but
yeah.
Could have got
Dude,
it.
I freaking called that Hive Totem definitely had something, and you just turned around missing. I initially said it was flamethrower, but Bruce is even funny.
Gravity and main quarry. Full damage reduction would have been nice, but too far.
Yeah.
And I got my 2 favorite beam combos, so that's good.
Yeah, that was a very nice lucky ice spreader during Chozo cleanup.
Yeah.
That was a very rude phase on suit location, just given the fact that you had to full clear at that pull point because of the phase on suit in.
Yeah, and I could have literally full cleared like backwards Flagra, so at least I was prepared.
I imagine it could, one could have easily been thinking that it was time to just do both Flagra phases before they went to gallery.
Looks like they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Some unfortunate lag though.
Yeah, I think that might be the reason why we saw Torvis try to reset their game so they're experiencing less lag.
Oh.
Yeah. That processor. Oof, feel that.
Yeah.
Feel that lag.
Yeah, I've been there. I used to have my previous computer used to be like this, and it was frustrating. Not only because of this, but because it would take Seeds probably half an hour to 45 minutes to gen and export.
I recently just installed Windows 10 on the spare Chromebook that I have, and I put Dolphin on it, and it runs exactly the same like this does as well.
Okay, so note to self: don't download it yet. Keep putting it off until they force you to.
But yeah, that was. I am slightly apprehensive to say that that was a sub-hour seed, but given the circumstances of not knowing knowledge, but like doing this as like a speed seed, yeah, this is like definitely sub-hour.
Yeah, I probably could have saved at least 3 to 5 minutes, not for goring twice in the beginning.
Yeah, bombs and landing site.
You were really fond of going in and out of Magmore repeatedly.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a move on, but like...
Yeah, don't worry, we all make those mistakes. I've definitely done that in a weekly before.
Oh yeah, no, I am sure many of us are not allowed to judge you without being hypocrites.
Okay, I guess we will be seeing final bosses from Porpoise.
Yep, looks like it at this point.
Well, in that case, I'm going to be right back. I need to quickly use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Oh, no boost either. It's gonna be a long, long fight. You say I have more missiles than I did. 10 missiles was a little ridiculous. Wasn't sure what the right plasma or ice strats were. By the way, is Ice Beam stronger than Plasma?
I think if you do the math, its Plasma is still stronger. I know, I think Ice Beam does 60, but has the 1.5 bonus, so it's like 90. I don't know. I know there's a spreadsheet around there.
Yeah, I heard some inklings about that. I wasn't sure, so I was kind of alternating.
Either way, between Plasma or Ice, the real difference is between not Plasma and Ice and Plasma and Ice.
Okay, I'm back. Ooh, that is some That is some crispy Ridley music.
Yeah, brings back painful memories.
Yeah, that was a very interesting Ridley fight you had as well. That was, I think, the worst Ridley I've ever seen. That was abysmal. I am so sorry for you.
Yeah, especially when you're bad with the snipes, like I am. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, you can't really knock you for that.
Yeah.
I would say, though, that I personally just think it's better to aim the power beam. I just personally find it a lot more easier.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but I was in the mindset of only having 10 missiles, so...
Yeah, that is also true.
Yeah.
Switching to plasma would waste precious time.
Yeah, normally I would use power beam.
But regardless, that was like... How many dashes was that? That was like over 10.
Yeah.
Like
13. Yeah, a lot of sneak dashes too. I hate those.
Unfortunately, it looks like the spreadsheet that was floating around community that had all the damage values for the Prime 1 listed has been deleted at this point, so...
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate.
That is... I love it and hate it at the exact same time. The noise from the lag.
Yeah, the vibration's like oddly soothing, but bad for gameplay.
Interesting. It seems that it's Ridley being on screen that is causing the lag.
Oh,
well, I have to imagine Ridley is a very complicated model. And with all the particle effects that go on just when it's hit.
This honestly makes me wonder. This has to be like at least like an old Mac, because I know Sam also does Mac, but his gameplay is definitely much smoother. Maybe it's even like background renderer or something.
could be.
I don't know if they followed the Aaron's Dolphin setup, but who cares, I guess. Okay, well, to be honest, I don't even know Mac models. I don't trust like that. I don't use Mac.
Yeah, I've only used it for like, I don't know, class projects, like Adobe Premiere, stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm a PC user.
Flyby scoop? Oh, okay. Nice. That, I think if that was like the first phase, that shot actually would have been a flyby scoop. Although I don't think that was good enough positioning, but that was good timing. Okay, will we see a better Ridley fight?
Well, Torvis does have the advantage of pretty much playing in slow motion right now, so that would theoretically make it easier to aim snipes.
Doesn't seem like they're going for snipes though.
Yeah.
Might not know how to get them. That's fine.
Yeah, snipes are, there definitely is something that takes practice.
Yeah, I used to be better at sniping, but somehow lost the ability, so I just kind of dash away now. Sometimes I get it, but I don't like try too hard to get it, because, yeah.
Usually I just like will take the snipe and then dash anyways, and if I get it,
Yeah, Yeah, I do that too, but then sometimes I screw myself over and dash away too far and then get the invincibility glitch if I take too long to shoot.
I believe it's a matter of how deep into the animation Ridley is when you stun him. So your actual missiles after you snipe shouldn't be the worst. You just don't want to snipe from far away.
Yeah, the problem is I dash away too far and then try to like lock back on and make my way back over enough to like for the missiles to hit, and I fail that a lot.
Yeah, this is why we get boost ball.
Yeah.
Oof. It's not like those Choso ghosts. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing any crazy Samus model today from Torvis.
Unfortunate.
Okay, now I want to know, does Torvis know the standables for Phase Encore? That would be something I'd highly recommend learning if you don't know. Guess. Oh well, that's fine. Just don't get bullied by Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill will defend their hill.
Is that even how that nursery rhyme goes? I don't even remember at this point.
No, but it's certainly how this rhyme goes because they are dude.
Yeah, I think it sounds better anyways. Yo, missile station though, base.
Hey. Missile stations are just so weird in Prime 1. There's 3 of them in the whole game, and 1 of them is an impact crater. You don't even see one until you, like, late Chozo with Ice Beam.
Fun fact, in the new Randovania update, 5.8, we now get missile stations will also refill your power bar. Just a nice little quality of life thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a new thing. That just happened. Missile stations will refill PBs.
Oh, with 5.8?
Yeah, 5.8.
Huh.
Yes, very good. So,
No
makes
taking.
the Fungal Hall B missile station a lot more interesting.
Well, that's certainly going to help with door rando next week. To get trolled with a bunch of power bomb doors.
Yeah, that's definitely something. I played quite a bit of door rando, and oh boy, does Randovania like to spam power bomb doors one after the other. Like, yeah. I just genuinely offer a suggestion to anyone. Do not allow missile expansions into your presets. Just remove them and have it be only main power bombs. That way you aren't ever in a situation where you only have one power bomb expansion that you're just continually farming and refilling off to get through doors. Just trust me, it will make the RNG much more bearable. Because even if it's out of logic, you're still going to be tempted to use that power bomb expansion to get through doors.
I wouldn't be surprised if the upcoming door rando week was the reason that they decided to implement that in the missile stations.
Yeah, the timing makes sense.
I mean, well, it certainly didn't hurt. That being said, Prime's Powerbomb RNG has been a frequent complaint among many players for years, so it's not exactly too surprising it's on the wish list of features to add.
Yeah, I have no knowledge of this, but are they ever planning on actually attempting to fix the powerbomb drop rate, or just like importing the Echo's plan rate? drop rate.
Is that possible?
Maybe. I don't know much about game modifications, so I could not tell you.
I don't know. I've got an unpopular opinion, but I think as long as you aren't as you have the main and aren't just running solely on missile extensions, I think the Prime Powerbomb RNG system is fine. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like Prime makes your Powerbomb capacity matter a lot more than Echoes does, because I feel like when you have Powerbomb and Echoes, you spend 90% of the game on one Powerbomb, because
that is true.
You just use all your power bombs, and then once it is, the power bomb drop rate just gets cranked to high heaven, and then you just don't get any more power bombs. So.
Not to mention, like, all of the early bosses can get one shot by power bombs.
I don't know. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but it is my unpopular opinion.
You take that opinion with pride.
Yes.
Okay, that is true. The remaster did not fix the drop rate, so. Did they? I don't remember. Did they import the fixing of the missile expansions though from not expansions, the missile drops? I think they did. Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Prime Remaster seems to be a pretty faithful port of Trilogy, aside from the graphics. Well, pretty faithful remaster of Trilogy. Well, yes. And the motion controls too, with like world layout and mechanics.
So, I guess, here's another fun fact for you. In Trilogy, or I guess, well, in the GameCube version, the vanilla version of Prime, there are models for missile pickups that are, I believe, worth 10 and 15. I think that's how it is. But the drop rate system is bugged so that those other two missile models will never drop. Thankfully, they did patch that in Trilogy, and they are, I believe, indeed even unique skins. Although, I don't know if it's bugged or they just didn't have time to implement it, but I do. The point is that you can't get those, even though the models are in fact in the game state.
Speaking of things that were intended to be in the original release of Prime and basically just got left out by mistake, Vlogra's theme is a lot longer than it is when you hear it in these tournaments. It's just apparently during the game, they accidentally made it loop way too short, and because of that, like, you just get stuck with like the boring parts of it, and like it's actually like a decent banger of a theme.
The full song is very, I would say it's very interesting given how boring the fight itself is. Given it's, I guess the boss fight gameplay and the song do not mix, in my opinion.
Yeah, Vlogra is definitely a very slow fight, and I don't know, I think the modified version that we have in the classic Prime version does somewhat fit that. It's definitely a very slow song to match the pace of the fight, but I think the extended version, I think it still kind of matches. It goes kind of like a creepy vibe, which I think kind of fits Vlogra.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's got like this whole whole part in it. It misses out like on a whole lot in the game version. It's like literally just like it's like just the intro of the song that gets looped. The whole like actual meat of the song is in Trilogy and remaster as well. I think I heard rumors of them being able to repatch that as well.
Yep, that's a feature of Randomizer. If you have a Trilogy ISO on your computer, you can basically just copy the song over from Trilogy.
You need the Trilogy ISO for that?
Yes, I believe so.
I guess maybe they just haven't figured out music data?
I think no, they haven't figured out the music data. I believe it's just during development is when it was cut too short. It's the file in the code on the game is the short version. It's just then they added back in the long version in Trilogy.
Okay, I thought it was like they had the whole song in the data, but they, like, the looping data itself was too short. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, maybe that would actually make me want to rip my trilogy, or my trilogy copy that I own, and definitely do that. It's okay, I own trilogy. Steel case, actually.
I am sure we probably all own multiple versions of this game at some point.
This exo fight seems to not be going so well. Half health at the subchamber 3, I think. That should be fine. It doesn't seem that Torvis is going for run by or turnaround shots, which is fine, I guess. It may just not be aware.
Yeah.
This does seem to be their first tournament setting, so they might have been a casual player up until this point. They are at least have been in the Rando server for at least a few years, so might have just been casual wanted to try a tournament, which is a valid thing to do.
Yep.
The tournament, welcomes anyone. We have several new faces here.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong with being bad at Prime.
Although I am kind of iffy on seeing this whole game play at severe lag and running out of things to say, honestly.
Yeah, Torvis's computer seems to have been running. Seems to be some kind of technology that has arisen in the later. I don't know. Maybe there was like a memory leak of some kind somewhere. I don't know.
I wonder if it's like a Mac, like an actual Mac, or like a Mac laptop.
I'd have to imagine it's some kind of system issue. Maybe Dolphin on Mac has some issues. I can speculate all I want.
Yeah.
Generally, I've heard that it takes a pretty powerful rig to run Dolphin smoothly.
Interesting.
Seems to be
Yeah, I mean, like, even my computer is
probably
pretty beefy, and I still have aspects of this game that slow down. Like, the map is a really infamous one.
Yeah.
That is true. I do believe, if anyone at home suffers from that, I believe that's just an OpenGL thing. Basically the I guess the thing that renders the graphics in Dolphin.
Also,
it doesn't like Prime Map.
Yeah. Also, this tournament does allow Ishiruka Dolphin, which is kind of the solution to that problem. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it runs better on lower end PCs. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mac has proprietary GPUs, so you can't really do anything else besides it.
What does proprietary mean?
Like it's Apple's.
No one really knows
I
how
think.
to work it outside of Apple.
Ah.
At least I think so. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a Mac user. I don't know. Fact check that.
Yeah. Of course, it seems just going for straight, just dump the phazon pool into Prime, not bother with the attack cancels. Maybe do the lag, maybe just something else. Maybe just not being aware of the technique. We get to see the very exciting vanilla Prime Essence fight.
Okay, well, it seems that Mac does have some NVIDIA stuff, and so some MacBooks are equipped with NVIDIA GeForce, so maybe they could switch it to that. Though I don't know if that's a matter of Dolphin. Oh yeah, thermal wasn't mine, so Torvis still does not have it. It has to shoot one. Yay!
Isn't the vanilla Prime Essence fight fun? Just waiting around while it throws out very easy to dodge attacks and just waiting for the chance to do something?
Honestly, I should practice my visorless essence. I am terrible at finding the scan point and attempting to hit it. I do kind of like the Metroid Prime music being slow plus reverb. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Metroid Prime slow plus reverb, 10 hours. Does Essence have like a set amount of actions each phase, or is it?
Yep,
like
set amount of actions each phase, and basically how it works is firing it causes it to cancel its current action and move on to the next one, and so if basically you just stagger your shots so it doesn't stay in the stagger animation for long and just keeps queuing up actions that get immediately canceled, that's what causes Essence to just quickly shift between the phases, which does so much for making the fight more bearable.
Doesn't quite seem to be aware of attack cancels though.
Yeah.
But next pool should do it.
Yep. Well, next.
Although that is a thermal phase, so we'll hope we can actually find it.
Yeah, hopefully Torvis can land the invisible shots and doesn't have to go into another pool after that.
Yep. Yay, that power bomb. Oh?
Oh!
Ah, yes, lag beam. No, we lost it!
No! Ah,
oh! Does that make this, what, 7 pools?
This slowed down version of the Essence theme basically somewhat interesting. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like the opposite of Nightcore, where instead of speeding it up, you go down. Is that like, I don't know, knowing music, there's probably a name for that.
Oh, there's definitely something the opposite of... I'm Googling that right now, actually.
My first instinct is to say it's Daycore, but knowing, at least like guessing music community, is probably something completely different.
It's Daycore.
Alright, I guess!
Also known as anti-Nightcore and slow. Just slow. Very innovative. And that should be it.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
GG.
GG's race time of 1 minute 21 seconds, although seems to have ended that a little bit sooner, so it was more like 1:46 seconds, I think. But yeah, GG's. Let me ask them about Frontrunners.
Yep.
Nope. Should be going up soon in the booth.
Might want to ping them and tell them they can come up, because they might be assuming that somebody's going to move them in.
Yeah.
Other tournaments do that.
I can just move them live on there. Looks like Jeff's on it. Never mind. Good job, Jeff.
Yes, shout out Jeff. We love Jeff. He has been our Speed Gaming savior.
Oh yeah.
He's both a volunteer for Speed Gaming and very involved in the community.
He both helps out make a good show and puts on a good show when he gets up on the stage.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Torvis is dealing with mic issues. That's fine. He'll give us a time music.
Oh there, Torvisbog.
Hello.
GG's.
Yes. It was a very fun match.
Yeah, what did you think of all of the early items?
I had like 4 artifacts before I even checked my artifact hints.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Yeah, we love seeing jet seats like this, although the phase-on suit being in Chozo was kind of rude, considering how deep it was technically with this elevator mix.
Yeah. I debated on fighting Ridley earlier and then looking at the hint for phase-on suit, but I decided I'll dive in, I'll find it along the way.
Usually, I would say that playing for the hint is definitely a lot easier, or I guess just better routing in this. Although it was kind of a tough sell, given how much missiles we did not have and no boost for Ridley. So that was, it was definitely. You had to think about it a lot, but I definitely think it ended up being worth it in the end. So yeah, how did you feel about just your overall routing with this race?
I think like when I went to Magmore first, just to check the whatever item that is, Twin Fires, or I think it's Twin Fires. When I got down into Magmore, I realized I didn't have bombs, so I couldn't check anything else. I thought I'll just check the one item and then get out of there. And it ended up being Grapple Beam, and I was like, okay. That ended up, I got lucky.
Did you check under or behind the ship before leaving?
Yeah, I did.
Did you forget?
No, because I grabbed, because you need a grapple to get Morph Ball, because Morph Ball was in root.
Oh yeah,
that was the logical way to do that. Although Op did beat you to that by skipping using grapple in that room.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about logic. Just like I forgot 2 items and had to go back twice.
It's okay. We don't talk about it. But yeah, it seemed like both of you were actually like neck and neck for like a very like early game. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't.
you two were very close for a while. It was really only when Running started to diverge in Magmore where Torvis went straight to Phendrana while Opt dipped into Great Tree in order to find those power bombs a lot early, and that was really what set you apart for the rest of the seed, as Torvis had to spend a lot of time searching around for the power bombs to grab the wave beam.
Yeah, that was definitely when I realized, it wasn't until later that I realized that I could actually check that item. Because I was thinking, I don't have power bombs, so I couldn't check X-ray or any of those, like Life Tunnel or Life Grove or anything of those. And then wait, there's the one check you can get with X-ray.
It's always the one check that gets ya.
Yeah, that is. This is a PSA in even weeklies. If you have like at least one check in logic like that, whether it be like Great Tree Chamber or Main Quarry, if you have the equipment for it, check it. That is soundly in logic. And you may forget like all of the surrounding checks are not in logic, but yes. I literally I think it was yesterday I had a race where supers were in Great Tree Chamber, and that was like there was only one elevator that went there, and boost ball was like nowhere to be found. So yes, those one-off checks tend to get you.
Yeah.
So it makes sense if that you missed out on that for a long time. So don't feel bad about it. But I will say though, you being kind of later to power bombs and just checking more of Chozo and putting off the Ridley fight just made it a lot more easier than it went for Op here. Op had the worst Ridley fight that I've ever seen. 14 charges and got like 3 out of the 14 snipes, which was not good and was very bad.
Yeah.
So having the missiles for Ridley was a lot easier.
I've never fought Ridley with less than 4 E-tanks. So when it first became an option, I didn't have the E-tank, so I wasn't confident enough to just dive right in there, so I kept looking around, and then I got more E-tanks, ended up in Chozo, and then I got Phase on Students, like, okay, nothing else matters, just go for the end.
Yeah, that specifically, I think the Exo fight, that was kind of scary towards the end there. The kind of running it on like half-ish health.
Yeah.
Most seasoned runners, I've heard the bar is usually they feel comfortable with at least 3 E-tanks or more. Anything below that is kind of pushing it. So I would definitely say, if for any advice going forward, is feel more comfortable fighting just all bosses and enemies with less than what you would normally have.
Yeah. I just got to practice a bit more, get more used to playing with less E-tanks and just more of that kind of stuff in general.
Yeah. Although I will say you did race really well today.
Thank you.
Just the fact that you guys were like tied for like almost, what was that, like 45 minutes? That was quite impressive.
I think around 30. Actually, I think it was around 30 minutes when the Op warped to start after to get Ridley. Like I know it was a joke. Like like I said, like the 2 runners are holding hands whenever they're just in the same rooms. You 2 were holding hands for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't feel too bad because you lost. You played well, and that's what's really important.
this is the best time I've ever gotten on completing a seed, so I feel amazing.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yep.
GG's.
I guess that's pretty much all that we really have to discuss. Make sure to follow our runners if you like what you saw here today. Also, make sure to check out my co-commentator, as well as our trackers. Shoutouts to Avina and Sam.
Yep.
And yeah, as for schedule today, I think we have one more match left for today, and that's
Because we haven't dominated the speed gaming schedule enough.
Lokir versus Link. Yes, that is happening in an hour. So yeah, stay tuned. That's on Speed Gaming Main, so you'll love to see it. Oh yeah, they seem to have default damage reduction, and that definitely be an interesting race. Make sure to check that out.
Anyway, I think we could probably wrap this all up.
Yeah. Any final thoughts from our runners?
Yeah.
All good here.
Nice. GG's.
Yep.
With that, look forward to the next race that is happening in, I guess, more like half an hour. Yeah.
Soon.
Soon TM. Yep. And with that, see you all next mission.
See ya.
See ya.